Hey folks, how's it going? I started this project off with the foam sphere that very conveniently already comes with indications for both the equator and the two poles, which I could then add marks to so that I don't lose sight of them as I'm working. Somewhat unfortunately, I've already drawn and used some maps of this world, so to ensure that the areas had the right climates and all that, I had to make sure that the latitudes were right when drawing everything. I did this by taping a piece of string to the two poles that I could then measure and divide into the appropriate segments so I could figure out how long the distance between the lines should be. After which I remembered that I have a ropey tape measure, so just use that to make the markings instead. And once all those markings had been done, I could start drawing the map. I started with the areas that I had already developed to make sure that they were in the right spot, after which I could freehand draw a bit, coming up with new and interesting features where I deemed fit to fill out the whole world. And with the map drawn, it was finally time to start adding a bit of depth and dimensionality to it. To the globe. The first thing that I did was to deepen the waters, so I took this sculpting tool that I had and just started scratching away at the foam. I didn't really have too much of a plan for the topology of the ocean, especially since there aren't really that many good references, even for our own planet. So I just kind of scratched around where I thought would look good, trying to make it not seem too planned or organized. One of the drawbacks to the sphere was that there was a clear pattern to the construction of it that was visible throughout. I initially tried to cover it up with just a bit of modeling paste, which worked okay, but you'll see me later on try to cover it up a bit more. With the oceans done, it was time to move on to the land. I decided to make the mountains and terrain by freehand dabbing the sealant down where they should go. I was really happy with the results, especially later on when I got better at the technique. Once the mountains were done, I once again got unhappy with all of the patterns in the ocean, so I mixed together an especially sludgy mixture of plaster, Mod Podge, and paint, and smothered the whole thing with it. This helped to both smooth out the ocean, but also give the foam a bit of protection, which you'll see becomes a kind of an issue later. The land then got its own protection in the form of Mod Podge and black paint, making sure that all the little areas were covered and protected. And now that I was feeling what some may call overconfidence in the protective ability of those two layers, I decided to prime everything with some spray paint, which, as you can see, ate away quite a bit of my foam. So I just went back and filled that in with some modeling paste as best as I could. After which, it was finally time to paint. After which I got a little lazy and just painted my plastic pedestal and called it done.